for USC. We'll see who does it best.
Ohio State with a smaller lineup looking to use their quickness to really disrupt and get out in transition as we check out the starting lineups powered by Ram trucks. Nothing stops Ram. Both teams rolling out the same starting five as they utilized one game ago. As we check out the two stars, the freshman and the sophomore, Jazzy Davidson, Jelani Cambridge. What sticks out about these two?
The fact that my hands are rubbing together because I am really looking forward to see who can step up in a game like this one. USC on a 6-game win streak, Ohio State on a 2-game losing streak. Both of them are heavily depended upon to be highly productive and effective, and we'll see who wins out in that.
10th all-time meeting between USC and Ohio State. There is tip-off, and USC wins the opening possession. Trojans, as Christy just mentioned, looking for their 7th straight win. Really turned a corner after dropping 2 tight ones in Michigan just a couple weeks back to both Michigan and Michigan State, a couple of top 20 opponents.
Yeah, you see Ohio State starting out in their man-to-man defense, and they're very potent with that. And as we said, you know, USC is going to outsize them in 4 of their 5 starting spots, but that shouldn't just alarm them, you know. That should have them right where they need to be defensively.
Ohio State rolling out a 4-guard lineup. Jelani Cambridge getting to the cup.
And that's the quickness we were talking about by Jelani Cambridge. I mean, last year as a freshman, she was on go all season long in terms of her speed, and I think Kevin McGuff has said, you know, the game has slowed down for her. She's been able to really be calculating off the ball.
There's a steal for Ohio State, and Cambridge makes the most of it. A quick 4 points for the sophomore star.
And that's what Kevin McGuff said. Hey, that's when we're at our best, when we can turn teams over quickly, be disruptive with our press. And if you've known anything about Ohio State the last several seasons, they've been at the top of the list defensively across the board in the country because of their stifling and suffocating defensive pressure in the open court.
Jones finds a little pocket of space, too strong. Ohio State's top 20 in the nation in both steals and turnovers forced. A little too quick there as Lemila loses control.
Yeah, but this is what Ohio State does. They want to put you in some clamps defensively so that they can get some easy offense and a nice back cut, just a slicing cut there by Jelani Cambridge. And when they can score, then they can do this, right? Steal and score it again. And that's the beauty of their offense, but they can't have any anemic offensive stretches. They've got to be able to score so that they can apply the pressure necessary.
Ohio State among the Big Ten's leaders and leaders nationally as here they go. Touched out of play, and it will be Buckeyes basketball in terms of fast break points and points off turnovers to kind of cap off what you were saying. Yeah, so a lot of their offense comes from that defense.
Yeah, and Kevin McGuff said, you know, the last 2 games they haven't been able to get into that, and it starts with rebounding as well. You know, they haven't disallowed second chance opportunities by opponents markedly the Maryland game.
And it's Ohio State off to a 6-0 start.
You can tell what Ohio State is doing right now. They're maximizing their speed. These back cuts have been debilitating early on for USC.
Meanwhile, the Trojans have the answer with a steal of their own, and Jazzy Davidson puts the first points on the board for USC.
What a feathery lefty she is. I mean, that shot was a thing of beauty from range. She has just had just a magnificent freshman campaign, 17 points per contest.
And USC is led by head coach Lindsey Gottlieb, and her 5th season at the helm has guided the Trojans on historic runs, back-to-back NCAA Elite 8 appearances in 2024 and 25. And you think had Juju Watkins not gotten hurt, they would have gotten even farther last year. Of course, heartbreak with their would-be sophomore star out this season due to an ACL tear she suffered in the NCAA tournament 2nd-round matchup against Mississippi State.
Yeah, and she's here in the building, so, I mean, she's with the team, and I think when you're watching, you learn so much.
Kennedy Smith knocks it down from the outside. USC quickly ties it up, but this is what Ohio State can do in transition. Watson comes up short, but there it is, the kick-out 3. Nicely done as Chance Gray makes the most of it.
Super tough to guard that, right? Spray out triples off the offensive glass. Ohio State maximizing every opportunity, but so is USC here.
Samuels with the steal and the score.
Oh, Samuels really had to outstretch that arm to get it up because I tell you what, that was getting ready to be blocked. She got a little bit of a travel there.
Watson, as there is a foul call there on the baseline.
Well, I know it's snowing here in Columbus, but a couple times here in the last possessions, it's been raining some threes. USC knocking that one home, and then the spray out triple try is all good for the Buckeyes on that last one.
Notably, the 5'6" junior guard, Malia Samuels, checking in quickly here for USC. She was just called for her first foul, but an additional ball handler on the floor here for the Trojans. And there is Ohio State head coach Kevin McGuff in his 13th season at the helm of this Buckeyes program. Led them to Big Ten regular season championships as recently as 2024, 4 overall, a Big Ten tourney title in 2018. A young group, though, this year, as there's a beautiful shot in the mid-range from one of their stars, Chance Gray.
Yeah, Kevin McGuff told us this morning at shoot-around, he said, you know, if those 2 losses came in January, no one would really be thinking a lot about it, but because of the momentum that you want to be building at this juncture of the season, some people have their eyebrows raised like, what's going on with Ohio State? And he said they just need consistency and the ability to finish games and play 40 minutes, or if it goes overtime or however many minutes, they need to play a full contest and not have any lapses.
Davidson with a tough shot under pressure. Cambridge the rebounds. Jelani, that is. Flying forward, up off the glass, gets it to go.
And Jazzy Davidson, one of the best in the country in terms of her ability to block shots. And on that one, Jelani Cambridge just took it right to her in the open floor for the finish.
Ohio State off to a blistering start. 6 of 8 from the floor. Scramble on the floor, speaking of. Kennedy Cambridge comes away with it.
Kennedy Cambridge told us at practice today, she said, listen, I have hands. I might not have height, but I have hands. And she had hands on that last play defensively and just debilitated USC.
Elsa Lemila gets the offensive board, but a jump ball is called. The Trojans trying to rip it away.
Well, this is the speed that Jelani Cambridge possesses. She puts it in a different gear, and Jazzy Davidson is 6'1" and lanky and long, but it didn't matter. Jelani Cambridge utilized her body and her speed to perfection in the open floor on that one.
The sisters, of course, Kennedy Cambridge, the redshirt junior, Jelani Cambridge, the sophomore guard, both with some speed as Chance Gray steps in on the baseline. Samuels the rebound, pushing pace.
Trying to get organized here in the quarter court.
Yeah, Samuels with nowhere to go, really. The junior guard been coming in off the bench these last 6-7 games. Head coach Lindsey Gottlieb saying that she likes the spark she provides, both defensively and the ball handling abilities, alongside London Jones, who's been running the point.
London Jones, the transfer from UCLA, is a striker from the outside, so another player who can extend the floor, albeit at 5'3" on paper. But she could light it up.
And Kylie gets into the game, a whistle and a foul called. Ball going the other way here.
Yeah, these threes are following the feathery triple right there by Jazzy's smooth jazz right there. And then Jelani Cambridge, who's been off to a hot start here. Jelani Cambridge has gotten everything that she has wanted in this game, and it's an 8-2 advantage in paint points by the undersized Ohio State Buckeyes team. They've been able to maximize their speed in the open floor and finish in transition off of stops. But this is what Jelani Cambridge came here to Ohio State to do, and that was to be a disruptor and putting force and pressure on both sides of the ball. And right now, 3 of 4 from the floor for Jelani.
Standing at 5'7", having an outstanding sophomore season, averaging nearly 23 points per game. Second in the Big Ten, 7th in NCAA, while also averaging 2 steals per game, Chris, as you point out the defensive activity. Speaking of activity, Samuels flies to the ground and a foul is called.
Jelani is a monster, and her sister right there, Kennedy Cambridge, sporting the A1 shiny sneakers that I love. We'll talk about that a little later, but yeah, she got tagged with that foul. But boy, the first thing that caught my eye when I walked into shooting practice today was those A1s. Asia Wilson, she is on top over here. Look at those. And I'm not really a shoe girl, except for my red bottoms, but I do like those.
Come on now.
But I do love those. Asia, hit me up. I need some of those, honey. Jelani and Kennedy they room together like you did with your sister in college, so I'm sure they like sneak and steal and share those.
Oh, 100%. Now, Jelani does now have her own apartment, though, because she has to have her own bedroom for her Legos. That's what we've been told is Lemila captures in down low. She's a big Lego fan, but back to your point about the shoes, they're also both diehard Asia Wilson fans. She's their favorite player. She came to the Ohio State-Illinois game earlier this season. They got to meet her, and that was like the moment of the year. And speaking to both of them about kind of what that experience meant, and really cool to see Asia willing to come out and give back and really pour into the up-and-coming basketball stars like these 2 here on the floor.
Yeah, and Kylie Kidd's sister plays there at South Carolina. They were playing One miss today.
Davidson, meanwhile, with the steal and score.
2 blocks a game and 2 steals a game for Jazzy Davidson. I mean, she's a freshman. Everyone talks about her ability to score, scoring prowess and all that, but wow, it's her defense that stands out as well. I mean, 2-way player, just ready for the moment.
Ready for the moment also is Chance Gray. Can't get it to go. Davidson pushing pace. Trying to kick out. Lemila deflects. Ball is loose and a held ball called. Possession arrow keeps it here.
Now watch Jazzy Davidson. I mean, this is why we call her Smooth Jazz over here in the booth, because listen, she is so long and lanky, gets right into the passing lane, deflects it, moves the ball up the floor, and just the fluidity of her actions to the rim. Really fun to watch.
Davidson, great pass. Smith finishes the play and the foul called.
What a great entry pass inside, and that's the only place that Jazzy Davidson could have put the basketball, right there for the lob. The weak side was emptied out. No help. Was able to come over and wall up. Smith with a free and easy deuce at the rim with contact. And that's something that Kevin McGuff was speaking to us about at shoot-around as well. He was like, they want to post up everybody. And that's when the size advantage is going to show and prove. So they have to have good ball pressure on the passes as well.
Cambridge, as she takes the shot, an offensive foul is called. So the ball's going the other way.
Lemila looking
there,
for
Lemila, yep.
Yeah, she's looking for some.
It's her first and the team's third.
We'll take a look. Lemila right there. Just being a little too aggressive and keeping contact on that screen. And they're trying to fight through it, so it's kind of a little bit of both, right? Lemila holding the contact, Smith trying to fight through, and there was a collision there.
Is an offensive foul against Ohio State. The play is under review to determine if the ball was released before the foul occurred.
So there you have it. There is going to be a look back at that last sequence.
We'll take a look and listen to when the whistle.
Could you tell based on what you heard?
They were looking to
Where the
see
whistle
if the whistle occurred prior to the release of the basketball, is what the officials explained. And we'll see what they adjudicate here at the table. But it seemed like it was after the fact to me. We'll see what they say.
After a review of the play, it has determined that the foul occurred before the shot was released. It will be no basket for Ohio State. USC will take the ball inbounds on the end line.
So it was determined the foul happened before the shot. Our officiating crew, by the way, Michael Murray, Nikisha Thompson, and Doug Knight making the calls here in Columbus at the shot. So it is USC basketball.
So the foul occurred prior to the shot. So USC possession here. And there's that press. Trying to take that middle third away. Slow USC down.
Luke Jones back in the game. Been running the point here for USC. Played some of the two, but Coach Gottlieb liking her running the point during this recent stretch.
Yeah, and I like that for them. I mean, sometimes you're at this juncture, you know, she's turned it over there. Unlucky. But you're looking at 6 games in a row. And sometimes when you shuffle the deck a little bit, you come up with something that looks really good for your team. And you can find some stride and momentum. And that's exactly what you're seeking at this juncture of the season for sure.
Kylie Kitts back into the game, the redshirt freshman guard forward here for Ohio State, and denied. How about Kennedy Smith? Says no.
Yeah, this is a USC team that gets these blocks, 6 per contest. Give me that. All those are getting sent out of bounds, and you love to see the aggressiveness and the great body positioning to it. To get that ball up top of the apex. No contact down low.
Yeah, this USC team among the best in the nation and the best in the Big Ten in terms of that blocking ability. But Todd gets on the board here for the Buckeyes.
Yeah, nice baby hook right in front of the lip of the rim.
Tiana Todd, the 6-foot senior guard, one of the players who was just recognized. It is senior day of note here in Columbus, so her and Chance Gray both got a moment to be celebrated by the crowd here along with their families.
Yeah, that was fun to hear Chance Gray tell us this morning that 25 people were here, parents, both sets of grandparents, which she said was a blessing, and I concurred with that notion, but have her friends, sister, nieces, everybody's here.
Everybody here to watch Shalani Cambridge put on a show. My goodness, she already is closing in on double figures with 8 points.
She's gotten it just the way she likes it, with speed, agility, and effectiveness.
Speaking of effective, Jazzy Davidson, so effective at all 3 levels.
Just a soft touch right there from range. Yet again, second triple to drop home for the freshman Jazzy Davidson.
Davidson answering with 8 points of her own. And meanwhile, it's a steal. Jones on the drive, and a foul is called going the other way. So Jones gets called for the offensive foul.
Yeah, Watson did a good job to be disruptive with her footwork. But right here, look at that bump, the little body bump, trying to go big body bends with it, even at 5'3". But right there, she leveraged and displaced the legal guarding defender in Watson on that.
This is Jones' first foul, 13 foul nearly going here. Once again, this USC team also being very active in the passing lanes. Yeah. I know we mentioned that's the identity of Ohio State. But they've also forced 7 Buckeyes turnovers before the end of the first quarter. And that is notable because these are not teams that typically turn the basketball over themselves, both averaging right about 13.5 per game. They're at 7 in this first quarter, 7 apiece.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at USC only giving up 60 points for their opponents, and then Ohio State 65 points they give up. So very staunch defensive teams for sure. One does it with speed and quickness, and one does it with size and length of their arms. So different ways to get the job done, but they're both very solid on the defensive end as we started the game discussing.
Shot clock off now, 8 to go here. USC hunting for the last shot of the quarter. Davidson through some contact. She kind of took a little sidestep, knocks down the tray. And there is the final buzzer. Last shot, last heave wouldn't go down, but Jazzy Davidson with 11 points. Jelani Cambridge with 8. How about that?
Yeah, both stars shining brightly here in Columbus. A 1-point game headed into the next stanza. Stick with us.
Welcome back. USC with a 1-point lead on the road in Columbus as the freshman Jazzy Davidson has been a key part of their 6-game win streak, averaging 22+ points per game during that span.
Well, it's been all that jazz over the last stretch of games for Jazzy Davidson, and no different this afternoon. She has been on a heater. Coming into this game, a 26% shooter from range, but she's been able to do it in a myriad of ways. She is in attack mode in the open floor. But it's these lefty triples for me. She has been string music from range, knocking in 3 triples. 11 points so far for the fiery freshman.
21 or more points for Jazzy Davidson in the last 4 straight games. Leads this Trojans team in points, rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks.
Yeah.
Both ends. And I asked Lindsey Gottlieb if she's seen a guard who can block the way Jazzy Davidson can, and she said, no, I don't think I've seen anything like it. She's one of the leaders in the country.
Yeah, she's one of those unicorns. I mean, she can do it all at 6'1", just a hybrid. She's a hooper. I mean, she's positionless, and that's what you love to see.
It is a turnover on the other end, though, as that's been a little bit out of control here for USC. They're 8th as we start off the second quarter.
You can see Jazzy Davidson just clapped her hands. My bad, but she's not staying on that moment. She's on to the next thing, and that's why she's ahead of herself in terms of her competitive maturity.
Jelani Cambridge ahead of herself now with 10 points.
She's working it. And it's so funny to me. Davidson's knocked in all these threes, and Jelani Cambridge has been able to get down into the trenches in the painted area and do her work. So we kind of flipped the script in terms of the small lineup for Ohio State. And then the taller lineup for USC.
Dunn spinning in the lane, getting an inside 2 for the Trojans. But here comes the fast-running Ohio State Buckeyes. Watson draws the foul.
2-player activity for Ohio State, always at the top of mind. Watch the action right here. little dribble handoff, a little pitch back. Limula setting that screen. Jelani Cambridge playing peekaboo, coming off the other side of it. Defense sunk under the screen and the re-screen. She was able to cash in, and you love to see reads like that. And I think that's what Kevin McGuff was talking about when he was saying, you know, the game has slowed down for Jelani Cambridge. I mean, last year I think she would have pulled that first shot, but she said, you know what, that defense is recovering hard on this side. Let me come on the other side of it and use it as a re-screen by Lemula. I mean, high basketball acumen.
Davidson with a high acumen, high shot pocket as well, couldn't get it to go. Fight for the rebound leads to multiple players on the floor before the jump ball is called, and it will stay here.
Well, you love to see it, right? Get on the floor and get the possession, right? It's a 50-50 opportunity, but it's up to you to make it an 80-20 situation at the end of the day. And we were speaking with Chance Gray about that. Like, how do you make it an 80-20, you know? And she said, you just have to out-scrap. You just have to outwork them. And she said she wanted to bring the experience of how to do that by example to the court.
Samuels running the point here for USC of note. Does have 2 fouls. Done from beyond the arc, misses everything. Cambridge flying forward. Pulls up in the mini. Oh, Jelani Cambridge, are you kidding me? 12 points.
10 toes down, 2 points in. Ooh, oh my God. Put the brakes on. I mean, she goes at such an abundance of speed, and her ability to stop on a dime like that, beautiful hoops.
3-point lead now for Ohio State. Cambridge averaging career best, not just in scoring, as the bucket goes through for Raushetite, the junior forward out of Lithuania. Coming off a 2-point outing against Wisconsin, looking for more involvement today as USC rotates through their front court.
And trying to bring Chance Gray off that double stagger on the weak side. USC did a good job to blow that up and disallow that gap and downhill activity Ohio State craves.
Jelani Cambridge attempting her first 3. 6 of 10 though from the floor. The efficiency, Christy, is insane for a guard. The amount of shots that she takes, more than 50% from the floor.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, she can get it done.
Speaking of getting it done, foul called on the floor on that drive to the basket by Kennedy Smith.
Well, let's take a look at that previous possession. Jelani Cambridge, a whirling dervish right here, stops on a dime, creates the space necessary to rise and fire in the mid-range. 10 toes, great balance, and a snuggle in the net.
I like that verbiage. Well done. Snuggle in the net. I haven't heard that before.
Snuggle.
Cambridge with a behind-the-back dribble, and there's a foul.
Well, there's the example of who's going to check us too. You got to check us too. Hey, look at the roster and you look, hey, down the line, man, they're outsized in a lot of different positions. But they've got to be able to get low and get in a stance. And not only that, stay walled up in front of speed. And USC is struggling with that in this first half so far.
Smith just got called for her second team foul in the second quarter for the Trojans. As the rebound is brought under control there by Mendes. But to your point, Ohio State has to run to be successful with that speed.
Absolutely.
Mendes with the corner 3, and she knocks it down.
Yeah, nice patience there by USC.
Cambridge. Trojans pushing pace again. Cambridge trying to disrupt, and there's a whistle. A little too much. Jelani Cambridge gets called for her second.
Watch this tiptoe through the tulips right here by Jazzy Davison, splitting the wickets. 2 defenders can't stop her. She gets the gap that she wants for that spray out triple try that falls in the strong side corner.
Some boos from the crowd. Didn't like the call after the replay was shown here inside the shot, but something to note, Jelani Cambridge with 2 fouls is staying in the game at this point.
That's something she had to contend with a lot last season as a freshman. It is worth the wears. She understands the assignment and her value for the team on the floor.
Speaking of understanding the assignment, Laura Williams there with a cleanup job gives USC a 4-point lead and a 2-minute scoring drought here for Ohio State. We'll step aside. Timeout called by Coach McGuff.
Going to be a telling tale, but everything coming to an apex in terms of momentum. Ohio State was really on the move to get the double bye situation. Those last 2 losses kind of jeopardized that a bit. They're looking to get back on the winning track so they can maybe get back into that conversation. So a lot still to be worked out in the Big Ten prior to the tournament in Indianapolis this year.
Yeah, coming up in just a couple weeks, beginning on March 4th, running through March 8th. Top 15 teams in the conference will compete. Top 4 teams get a double bye. Davidson off iron. But USC with a second chance opportunity. One thing Coach McGuff wanted to eliminate as Mendez knocks down another triple. Diana Mendez off to a hot start.
Yeah, both threes in each of the corners of the floor for USC, but those long run closeouts have been tough for Ohio State off of those offensive boards. So Ohio State's got to do a better job of maintaining contact on those box out, disallowing those second chances.
Lamela finishes inside off a nice pass from Cambridge.
Ohio State has run that same set, right? And trying to test the adjustments defensively that USC needs to make on that play. And that is to stay away from that cutter, right? You can challenge it, but you can't get all, if I'm guarding you, I'm not gonna be all the way here and have you take that slice cut behind me. I'm gonna give some space there so I can recover and try to blow that up with a deflection.
That last basket ended a 10-0 run for the Trojans. 2 on the shot clock now for USC. Gotta go. Davidson under pressure, and it is a shot clock violation. Another turnover forced by the Buckeyes.
Yeah, just take a look on the last possession by Ohio State. Look at how they dissect the floor in the 2-player action. Cambridge right there to Lamela. You cannot lose your player right there. I mean, I think right now Ohio State is utilizing the ravenous attention to detail against USC. They're going to be up on you, so they're like, okay, you're going to play us tight, we're going to back cut you. You know, and those paper cuts, they hurt. They're small cuts, but those things burn when you wash your hands. Listen, it might not seem like a lot, but those things are starting to add up. And Ohio State is maximizing that action right there from the elbow and that back cut every single time from both sides.
Davidson called for the foul there on the floor. Baseline inbounds here for the Buckeyes. Attention to detail, a focal point both these coaches spoke with us about. 9 to shoot here for Ohio State. Cambridge, oh, it's a tough bucket to go. Don't forget about Kennedy Cambridge here, folks.
It's got to be the shoes for Kennedy Cambridge with the serpentining finish in the paint. That was tough. What a tough bucket. My goodness.
Cambridge with her first 2 on the board, and a travel is called. Ohio State forces an 11th USC turnover.
Well, it's got to be the shoes for Kennedy Cambridge, serpentining her way with the flip up and in. Hello. Ooh, Asia Wilson's on top, and Cambridge, she's on top right there with that move. That was just flat out tough.
3-point ball game now, and Watson can't get it to rattle home.
Solid look though, defense again going under the screen, allowing space and time to lift it. A little too strong with it off the back of the rim.
Both teams flying forward with incredible pace, but it's back-to-back turnovers here for USC. Travel called there. Speaking of the sisters, sister, the sister act, whatever you want to call it. A couple of different sister combinations here. UCLA, of course, with Lauren and Sienna Betts making an impact out in Westwood.
Yeah, you'd love to see it. I mean, that must be something. I have a brother, I don't have a sister, but you have a sister, so you understand it. But that must be so much fun to play alongside of your sibling. Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Bryn Martin into the game, passes it out to Chance Gray, hits the corner 3. Gray now with 8 points. 7-0 run here for Ohio State, tying it up at 32 apiece, and a timeout is called. USC looking to regroup here late in the second after the Buckeyes regain momentum.
Let's take a look. Piece of the paint, and then spray that thing out. It got deflected, but then you relocate, find your space, and lift and flick it from 3, forcing a timeout. And that's what I always loved as a coach. Can we force a timeout right here? You know, let's drive this thing. Pick the energy up. Love to see that for Ohio State here at home. And foreshadowing of what could be in the NCAA tournament. Man, it was a sold out environment. It's fun. going to be an NCAA tournament in March in DC as well.
Yeah, and Illinois just maybe had their biggest loss of the season, falling to UCLA. It was a huge comeback for the Bruins, one of the biggest in their program history.
Yeah, overtime, that was a big time
OT,
win.
baby, yeah. Talk about Apex and women's hoops, men's hoops as well. Keep it locked here on Fox and FS1, because man, the final stretch is going to be fun. Final stretch of this one also going to be fun. Still the second quarter. A game of runs so far, tied up at 32 apiece.
Good job by Watson right there to close the space by Jazzy Davidson, but couldn't contest it there. And that's where the size differential makes an advantage for USC. And that's what Kevin McGuff said as well. He said, you know, Jazzy Davidson, we want her to take tougher shots. And she wants it at a 10-foot shot. We want to make her shoot a 14 or 15-foot shot. But right there, she kind of got to where she wanted to be. He's like, once she gets inside of 10 feet, I mean, that's pretty much lights out. And Watson gave up probably about 7 or 8 inches in height there. And that's why she tagged her on her shooting line.
Yep, Watson's second foul. The 5'8" sophomore guard has been starting, while Kylie Kitts missed quite a bit of time with an injury out throughout the month of January at various points, just playing the last couple of games, but still working to get back to 100%. She stands at 6'4", so adds a little bit of size. They've gone smaller with Watson in the starting 5. As Kennedy Cambridge attempts it in the mid-range.
Yeah, to your point with Kitts, right? I mean, she was their leading rebounder when she went out, so they're missing a lot of extra possessions. And she was off the floor, and still, she's not playing the minutes that she was, even though she's returning.
Smith rattles out. Kennedy Cambridge, the rebounds, almost taken away.
Okay, we're coming over here. I had the hands, I had you.
How about that, though? Ava Watson responds with a 3-ball. Ohio State goes up by 1.
And a compliment of being able to score early inside and then now knocking in threes. It's been tough to stop.
Can't stop London Jones. Hits from the baseline.
Yeah, run off the three-point line. She's going to stop and pop it in the midi. Right off the lane line.
Jones averaging about 10.5 points per game. Great three-point shooter. Watson, a good three-point shooter as well. Can't get it to go that time. Samuels pushing pace. Samuels with time beyond the arc. Second chance here for the Trojans. And Jones is fouled.
Just can get to the cup and do that. Yeah, how about that? Super tough. On the previous possession. Take a look at the push-ahead pass. And the easy lift and flick and net ability in transition from 3. I mean, she's 2 or 3 feet behind the line. So transition defense. Another thing to put on the list for Lindsay Gottlieb and the Trojans to correct defensively in the halftime break.
Yeah, she identified that as being a big focal point. She said, good defense against Ohio State starts with ball security. Don't turn it over. Second of all, when you miss a shot in the half court, get back and defend in transition, because they will run, even off of misses. Even off of makes. They'll run.
I mean, yeah.
The ball is deflected out of play. Stay down here with Ohio State. 7 on the shot clock, though, running out of time. Three to shoot. Gotta go. Todd misses everything. USC got the ball before a shot clock violation could be called.
I'm trying to get that blitz. Yep.
Taken away by Cambridge. Cambridge on the drive, and Jazzy Davidson sends it to the street.
I don't know street names around here in Columbus, but whatever street.
Olentangy Road.
There you go. No, this is the one that Jazzy Davidson wanted to get back. She got it stolen and then sent this one to Olentangy Boulevard out here.
Yeah, there we go. We always stay at Olentangy. That's the only one I know too. But Jazzy Davidson's shot blocking ability is a sight to be seen, that's for sure. She has 13 points, 3 boards, 2 assists, and then sending that one to the street.
Yeah, she's just a flat-out toughie. I mean, she could have hung her head and felt sorry for herself because she got it stolen, but she put her wheels on, got on her horse, got down there and beat that out.
2-second difference here, game clock, shot clock, and a foul is called over on the sideline. Malia Samuels was on the dribble. Called on Bryn Martin, which is her first. 5th team foul, so USC in the bonus here for these final couple seconds. And Leah Samuels going towards the bench, asking for a towel.
There you see Juju Watkins looking on there on the bench for USC. Elected to sit out this year, which I think was a tremendous decision. You want to be 100%. And you're always going to give 100%, even if you're 50% healthy or whatever that is. And that goes on and off the floor. I was going to give 100%. Give your best, but it's a wise choice by Juju Watkins. 2025 College Player of the Year.
A little comparison here, looking at Juju Watkins in her freshman season compared to Jazzy Davidson, the freshman star this season for USC.
Yeah, a lot of pressure that Lindsay Godley wanted to take off of her. She said, you're not coming in here to replace Juju Watkins, okay? You're going to come in here, you're going to be Jazzy Davidson. And Juju Watkins, what I've loved most about her this year is seeing her in the ear of Jazzy Davidson, telling her exactly that. Like, go be you. And she has done that exceptionally well.
Ray, with just a couple seconds left, throws it away, USC basketball. Going back to that point, though, talking to Jazzy Davidson at Big Ten Media Day, she mentioned that Juju, though, has been instrumental in being a mentor to her and preparing her for the expectations in her freshman season as a star.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And you love to see that, the sisterhood in full effect. Not just blood-related teammates.
There is the buzzer, the first half of the books here in Columbus. USC could not get a shot off in time, so that's how this one will come to a close in first half action. 3-point lead for the visiting Trojans. After the break, we'll send you back to Allison Williams and my good friend Kim Adams in our LA studios. USC off to a strong start, 50% on the season from the floor. Davidson having to step into a big role here for USC. As we mentioned, Juju Watkins out for the year, deciding to sit out, recovering from the ACL tear. And something Lindsay Gottlieb said is Davidson has handled it with the utmost maturity, the way that she has had to step into this role, both as a leader on and off the floor. She said her mentality has made a huge difference for the team this season.
Yeah, it's not an easy task, but she's up for the challenge of it and the consistency of the challenge of it.
Speaking of the challenge of it, we're off and running here in the third quarter.
I like that.
Lemmy getting on the board first.
Yeah, I like that matchup. Jelani Cambridge saw Kennedy Smith as her primary defender out of the locker room there. And she saw a lot of different looks in the first half, don't get me wrong. But I like that that was the first look defensively that came Jelani's way.
There's a whistle there. Trying to send it down low, so Ohio State gets the ball right back. Again, the defense doing a great job forcing USC turnovers here.
Yeah, 14 turnovers now by USC. They've just been very disruptive. A lot of them haven't been live ball, though, right? They've been able to come back and set up their defense on the other side. Not to the liking of Ohio State. They want to get it and go, but they have had empty possessions.
Smith with a good finish.
You take your time, things go better for you. You get better body balance down inside, a little pump fake. Freed some more space with the flyby.
3-point lead now for USC. Cambridge from beyond the arc. She's been working on the outside shot.
No, I love that. And now they can get into their 2-2-1 and steal and score again.
Cambridge with the steal, deflected out of play there by Kara Dunn.
I love that. That was great action in the quarter court by Ohio State. It was a great pitch back. Dribble handoff, watch. Limula, right there. You go under that screen or get stuck behind it. You dial that high ball screen. You're going to get crushed with a triple.
Kennedy Cambridge with her 4th steal of the game. Limula flying in the paint. 112 steals now on the season for Kennedy Cambridge. 5 in the nation in steals per game.
Well, just great anticipation skills, obviously, but you have to be smart. Right? Because you don't want to be a domino effect for your team and go for all these steals, but she has superb timing.
And right on cue, superb timing offensively.
Yeah. Right downhill with it. Into Cambridge. 2 more paint points for Ohio State. And we're talking about, okay, USC has all the size, but I tell you what, the speed kills, and they have been doing it. And again,
Jelani finds Chance Gray, gets it back.
Davidson had closed on her.
But Cambridge too strong that time.
Yeah, that's when size changes things, right? And obviously Davidson didn't block that shot, but she most certainly made you second guess that thing. I'm not shooting it because she's right there.
Lamela gets a hand on it, almost takes it away. Williams recovers.
Laura Williams, the daughter of Doug Williams, who played for the Commanders back in the day, MVP of the Super Bowl.
Smith there, knocking down the three-point shot, and Kennedy Smith now has 11 points here for USC as they regain the lead.
They need that. They need her to have a high level of productivity, especially with some adjustments that may happen for Jazzy Davidson, who got loose in that first half. Let's see what happened here for USC. A nice read. Jelani Cambridge under that screen, and that's what we said. Can't happen. That can't happen. Juju Watkins said all three of these. Put those in the bag. But you have to make the proper reads. You have to follow the scout, right? And get up and over top of that. Get a stick arm up in the shot pocket. Be disruptive defensively on those.
Cambridge, and a foul is called. Kennedy Cambridge. Working on Jazzy Davidson, one of the best shot blockers in the nation, but no fear.
Yeah, dancing with the stars right there. Had her up off her feet, and then she said, yeah, count those up. Look at the footwork right here. Kennedy Cambridge showing, going, selling it, and smooching it off the window with contact as Davidson was on the way down.
Davidson called for her second. Possession fire. Kara Dunn called for her second. Something to keep an eye on here. 3 team fouls for USC. Dunn puts it on the deck. Dunn with a tough bucket.
Yeah, well done, right there. And she got right into the painted area, a place where USC needs to continue to look to attack, right? When they knocked down those threes in the first half, Ohio State outscored them +6 in the paint in that first half as well. So they should be intentional about getting touches there, and utilizing their size advantage. Post-ups and mid-range strikes.
Gerda Rauschatite got a touch there. And it will be USC basketball as Lemila was attempting to get to the cup.
It's 2-2-1. Just trying to slow the pace down. No traps, but just in the way to contain. So USC trying to go down into the paint there, but didn't send it. I thought they had an advantage.
Offensive rebound, and Smith cashes in.
Nice catch and release right there at the nail by Smith. And those are tough, right, if you're Ohio State, because everyone's in scramble mode. Like, they were in rotation. And then those second chance opportunities, no one's there to close out.
USC +6 on the glass in the game as there's a foul called. Glendon Jones goes to the ground.
Second chance points, they've been bountiful for USC, and they have come up strong with it. Spray out, mid-range pull-up right there, all net for Smith. That's where they're maximizing their offensive production, right? And maybe you're looking at Ohio State trying to maximize their steal and score ability, but now you're looking at USC trying to maximize those second and third chance opportunities off the window.
Gray. Lemila draws the foul.
Just found herself too far underneath to finish up on that, but there's a magnet to the ball. When the shot goes up, you got to be making your way like a laser beam to get a touch. She did a good job with that.
Prior possession, Glendon Jones did get called for her second foul and then subbed out. So Maria Samuels back in here running the point for USC. And Gerda Rauschatite just got called for the foul. So Ohio State now in the bonus. 15 foul there for the Trojans. And here's the Buckeyes press.
That's why you throw it over that back line of the press and send them into sprint mode.
Oh, top drive. Dunn gets the 2.
Solid finish there by Dunn, getting to the second side for the reverse.
Johnny Cambridge falls to the ground, is able to get the ball out to Watson. 3-point lead here for USC.
Yeah, fell on her shorts, but kept the play alive.
Gray, tough shot. Davidson got a piece of it, but there's a foul. Cambridge leading the way, but don't forget about her older sister, Kennedy Cambridge, with 10 points.
Yeah, it's been a sister act. And that was a triple. She has been blistering the nets from all areas for Ohio State, showing, going, and knocking in shots with contact, but with a ton of confidence and effectiveness. 50% from the floor for Kennedy Cambridge in this one.
To go with 4 rebounds and 4 steals. The defensive activity was really on display last year, but she has grown in her offensive game. She told us at shoot-around today she really worked on developing consistency with her three-point shot, which was the messaging from Kevin McGuff at the end of last year for her.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you saw ebbs and flows with her offensive productivity last season, but that's what you want to see. The connectivity and the evolution for your players and telling them how to get that done. You don't just want them to come back next year the same way. Like, what can you add to your game and what can maximize your potential? And that is putting the pedal to the metal with your focus and determination. And that's what she has done for sure.
Cambridge shooting over 34% from beyond the arc, but it's an answer on the other end from who else but Jazzy Davidson has been outstanding. Now with 15 points for the Trojans.
Yeah, solid connection of the dots with Smith finding her downstairs.
And there's a foul called as Kylie Kitts trying to reel it in.
I played back in the day, and I love a high-low look. Listen, look at, watch the spin, and then now all she has to do is catch it and lift it. And the excitement by Kennedy Smith, like, please get it and finish that. I mean, that's the kind of love you want from your teammates, right? When you're trying to make plays. It's not just how can I score, it's how can we best score the basketball. And you saw that right there with Smith and Davidson.
Kylie Kitts misses the first, sinks the second free throw, but again, Ohio State in the bonus with a lot of time remaining here in the third quarter, and Kara Dunn was just called for her third foul. Also could be costly for this Trojans team.
Yeah, she's been able to attack the cup and finish right there in the paint. Here she is again, trying to establish herself. Good defense here. Gap defense is shored up by Ohio State. We got tipped, that's why it wasn't over and back.
Gets with a couple deflections. Watson comes away with it. Finds Cambridge. And one opportunity for the sophomore star. Buckeyes fans are loving it. And Cambridge.
Yeah, lightning in a bottle. Look at this defensive pressure. Smothering, suffocating, all in the passing lane. 3 players got a piece of it. And then Jelani Cambridge right there for good measure. The lightning bolt herself right to the rack.
Tie ball game at 51 apiece. Cambridge now with 14 points. And Kara Dunn was just called for her 4th foul. So the second leading scorer for the Trojans, averaging nearly 16 per game. With 4 fouls, with lots of time to go here in the third. So she heads to the bench as you see a shot of her there.
And that's going to be tough, right? They need all the leverage offensively that they can get.
Aushatite knocks it in.
And what I mean by that is the balance, right? They need everybody to impact the game, and for her to go out, that's tough.
USC maintaining their efficiency, though, 4 of 4 from the floor as Ohio State turns it over with the travel.
It's a quick step hop instead of a 2-foot jump stop on that one. And when she went to go put it down, that was one too many.
Cambridge here getting after Malia Samuels. On the defensive side, gets called for the foul.
And it's tough if you're going to try to dribble through that pressure by Ohio State. I mean, you already saw it on the previous possession, how that did not work out so well, right? Turned into a live ball opportunity and one for the Buckeyes. But if you can keep the ball in the middle of the third with passes behind that second line in the 2-2-1, you'll be better served. And then send somebody up the weak side and get a layup on the back end of it. You can't just muddle through the middle. It's just too tough.
Smith with a show and go and the foul.
Toughness travels coast to coast. LA to Columbus. Right here, all the way to the cup. Kennedy Smith taking the hit and keep ticking. And you love to see the force of her activity. The previous play as an initiator of offense and distributing the basketball in that time. Getting right to work with contact.
Smith with 16 points on the made free throw, 6 of 9 from the floor, 2 of 3 from beyond the arc.
Solid.
Davidson with 15. And Smith averages just under 11 points per game.
Size sticking with Jelani Cambridge and Kennedy Smith matched up all the way through this third quarter. And I like that decision, right? Sometimes you want to go speed on speed, but now you're going speed and size defensively against Jelani Cambridge with Smith guarding her.
Samuels called for her third foul, sends Ava Watson to the free throw line.
And to that point, with Smith guarding Jelani Cambridge, it's not necessarily to block her shot, but it's take her vision away, right? Let's put some size on her, match it with some speed, and then let our size take away those opportunities to see plays. Can't make a play if you can't see it.
Mendez goes all the way with it. USC extends the lead, 58-53.
Kevin McGuff incredulously asking if that wasn't a travel. It just looked like that last step kind of floated in there. Just a little extra.
Diana Mendez with 8 points. Providing a spark off the bench, the sophomore wing. Speaking of a spark, what a tough take from Kennedy Cambridge.
Yeah. She just went to work, kept the defense on her hip. Somehow got enough spin on it to drop home. Another paint point. Just tough work by the Buckeyes in that regard in this game.
12 points for Kennedy Cambridge. Davidson wide open, and she knocks it down.
You can hear the moaning in the stadium from the Buckeye fans because she has just been blistering the nets from range.
Kylie Kitts, though, blistering the nets inside. As Ohio State tries to make up with some paint points for that three.
Smooth Jazz once again on the spray out three. All the time she needs to pop that one home.
Someone in the NCAA tournament. What say you?
Yeah, Lindsey Gottlieb was thinking, hey, we're still here. Do not undersell what we've been able to do this season. Outside of injuries and all the things, we're still hooping at a high level. 6 consecutive games in the Big Ten Conference, which could send 12 teams to the NCAA tournament. Do not play in the faces of Lindsey Gottlieb and USC right now. They are worker bees out here and a force to be reckoned with. And you see right now with the lead on the road against number 10 Ohio State. I mean, they're still rattling the cage, if you will.
So Jelani Cambridge just dribbled it out of bounds. It was called
Basketball for the out of bounds. This play is under coach's appeal.
Ohio State coach Kevin McGuff is appealing the out-of-bounds call, which is new in NCAA women's basketball this season. Each coach has one appeal, and out-of-bounds are one of the things that you can challenge.
Let's take a look at that. I mean, see Jelani, and it looked like it's off the elbow there of Kennedy Smith. I think he may win it. And Kennedy Smith was like, no dice. Hey, man, that didn't touch me. I have 3 kids. They all were like, hey, I didn't touch it. All of them said, I didn't touch it. So one of y'all touched it, okay? And it was her elbow. And she may not have swung down, but look at that. I mean, you can see the trajectory change off of her right elbow there. And although she didn't swing at it, I think it skimmed enough. Yeah, I think it's a good challenge for Ohio State. I think they're going to win that. Or a good appeal.
Right, appeal is supposed to be the verbiage, but it's same thing. Jelani Cambridge immediately after that happened looked at Coach McGuff and was like, no, yeah. It did not last touch me. And Coach McGuff, trusting his sophomore star, or maybe had a good vantage point from where he is over on the bench, but they kind of made eye contact, and immediately we saw the officiating crew signaling there would be a review of this play. So we're waiting word here from Michael Murray, Nikisha Thompson, and Doug Knight, who are over there convening and taking another look.
Yeah, we're just trying to get it right, and you have to appreciate that, the integrity of the game, standing in the perils here.
Now, if you lose the appeal, you do lose a timeout. So you see Ohio State with 3 timeouts on the bottom right side of your screen. Coach McGuff just calling the last one, the last break that we took. If you win the appeal, you maintain your timeout. Lengthy review taking place here. On the edge of our seats here for the call.
Drum roll over here on the table.
All right, looked like there was movement towards the mic, so we're trying to gauge when this might be coming.
I think it's skimmed her, but we'll take another look at it right here. This is what they're trying to adjudicate. But look, I think that right elbow, Kennedy Smith got that one. Kylan, what do you think? It looked like it to me.
I thought it looked like it touched her, personally. I also thought it looked like it might have been that way when it happened live. Of course, that was at speed. We're taking a slowed down, closer look.
Kevin McGuff trying to do some moosahs over there, waiting for the answer.
4-point ball game. USC has been very efficient in this third quarter, making 7 of their last 8 field goal attempts. Ohio State, though, starting to catch fire. 3 of 3 their last couple times down the floor. A lot of runs back and forth in this game. Buckeyes within 4. Again, it's a lengthy discussion on this appeal. Michael Murray, Lakeisha Thompson, Doug Knight still having a discussion about what the call is.
Yeah, could be
Maybe their last
impactful.
touch.
After the review, the out-of-bounds play stands. Due to the replay, it is inconclusive. Ohio State will lose a 30-second timeout. It will be USC ball on the end line.
Saying the sideline view showed the basketball going under the arm of Kennedy Smith. So the flat angle looked like it may have skimmed, but there was some air in between the basketball and Smith's elbow. And the call on the court was important on that one as well. So that's why that call stands.
With the USC initially was awarded the basketball last touch by Ohio State. There has to be clear and conclusive evidence to overturn the initial call.
Exactly.
7 on the shot clock here for Jazzy Davidson. Has to throw it up. Lemilo the rebound.
This could be a huge possession for Ohio State. Let's see if they can stay composed with their attack.
Cambridge working down low. Gets her own miss. Cambridge gets it to go. Jelani Cambridge now with 17 points.
Diminutive on the outside, huge heart on the inside. You mean to tell me between 2 USC players there, she got that?
How about Jazzy Davidson with the answer?
It's a heavyweight fight right now. Uppercuts by both teams coming right at you.
Davidson with 20 on 7 of 16 shooting. 5-second difference here, game clock, shot clock. 4-point lead for the visitors.
Ohio State coming off 2-game losing streak. USC has won their last 6.
Cambridge. Bray's got to go. 2 to shoot. Bray is fouled. Mendez with the contact.
A lot of time. You're looking at time and score if you're Ohio State. It's tough. Very here, trying to get some momentum going into the 4th quarter.
Of course, Ohio State's been in the bonus for about the last 4 minutes of this third quarter. Foul called on Mendez was her first. So that means 2 shots here at the charity strike for Chance Gray. Takes the seconds to make this a 2-point game. Shot clock off.
See if they can get one out. See Lindsey got them saying, just go to the rim, go to the rim.
Samuels draws the foul on Cambridge. Walker to help her up as well. Showing sportsmanship there.
Lindsey Gottlieb was rolling that arm like, go to the basket, and try to get downhill. And Samuels not only did that, but connected with the body of Jelani Cambridge on that one.
That is Cambridge's 3rd foul.
And Samuels a 61% shooter from the line this season.
Makes both of them that time, but... And there is the buzzer, 3rd quarter in the books. USC holding the slight edge. A dead even 3rd quarter, though.
Yeah, big-time buckets in Big Ten women's hoops. Look at Jelani Cambridge going to work in the trenches for the deuce, and on the other side.
Now, of course, the NCAA Tournament Committee just released the top 16. Ohio State was number 9 in that, but you need to win games like this against the USC team. 21 in the net right now.
Absolutely, and looking forward into this 4th quarter, Kevin McGuff said we're looking to play with some consistency. And against Maryland, who was number 20 at the time of their game, They were up 19 against Maryland. And Maryland fought back. And he said in that third quarter, we let go of the rope. All credit to Maryland, you know, for doing what they had to do to fight there at home. But he said we stopped playing fast, and they got us on the glass in that game, and we can't have that happen. So you win in different ways, but you also find out how you lose in different ways, too, and try to shore that up moving forward, especially with that resume in front of you.
Raul Shatite trying to get to the basket. He's called for the offensive foul.
Really great defense right there. Just staying in a stance. Being set up as a legal guarding defender at the point of contact. Nicely executed there by Jelani Cambridge, who has 3 fouls. So that would have been a massive deal had it gone the other way.
Raul Shatite, meanwhile, has 2. Diana Mendez also staying in here for USC alongside Davidson and Malia Samuels running the point. And Kennedy Smith staying in as well here as she has been hot. Davidson can't get the roll.
Yeah, but you can see the intentionality. And it's almost like how they ended that third quarter of Lindsey Gottlieb saying, hey, go, 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 right? I think they want to put pressure in the open court. Let's see what we can get in our secondary offense first. And then if we don't get anything, get back out and reorganize.
Kennedy Cambridge was just called for the foul. That is her 4th. Significant here for Ohio State, as she's been outstanding both offensively and defensively in this game for the Buckeyes, with 12 points on 5 of 9 shooting to go with 4 boards and 4 steals.
Yeah, big time. And she just has to be disciplined. I don't see anyone at the table. Kevin McGuff
staying in right now.
A lot of trust with the redshirt junior.
So it's the starting 5 in here to start this 4th quarter for Ohio State, with both the Cambridges, Elsa Lemila, Ava Watson in the game as well, with Chance Gray.
Staying connected to Jelani Cambridge there, not allowing those dribble handoffs to occur.
Chance Gray gets called for the travel, the 14th turnover here for Ohio State.
I asked Kevin McGuff today at practice, how do you think Jelani Cambridge is going to be covered? And he said, hey, blitz, they do that a little bit, but I think having Kennedy Smith on her and disallowing touches, I think that's changed the rhythm of the offense for Ohio State.
USC moving the ball around. Samuels too strong. O'Gord brought in by Raul Shatite. Samuels picked off. Cambridge flying forward. Cambridge to the basket. 19 points for Jelani Cambridge.
Oh my goodness, the speed of Jelani Cambridge on full display on that finish at the cup under duress.
Mendez too strong. Gray ahead of the pack. Gray gets denied. Kennedy Smith saying no that time.
Had to recalibrate after that last one. That scored on her in there. 6 blocks a contest for USC.
The feed inside, but a travel is called. Kennedy Smith being helped up by teammates.
Some ice skates right here by Jelani Cambridge behind the back. Whirling dervish and then a smooch off the window. I mean, it is a special skill to be able to possess speed like that. And then decelerate right there at the rim with someone blanketing you defensively and having the wherewithal to place the basketball exactly where it needs to be. I mean, behind the back in the open floor with that speed, and then have somebody waiting on you at the rim like that, she's special.
Ohio State with a chance to tie or take the lead here. Cambridge gets caught up.
The crowd is giggling on that one.
Gray puts it on the deck. 4 to shoot. Jelani Cambridge. Oh, Jelani Cambridge cannot miss. 22 points. Ohio State in front. Mendez can't get the answer to drop. Fight for the rebound. Ball squirts out and out of play. Both benches waving the opposite directions, begging for the call.
Take a look. Jelani Cambridge says, hey, hand down, man down. We're going to come out here and check these 3. Oh, the bench loving it. Triple falls for Jelani, and then Jazzy Davidson holding her face there. Hopefully she's okay, but hustle and heart.
We're going to step aside as an appeal has taken place on that last out-of-bounds call.
I'll get back to that in a minute. We're taking a look at this first, though. I got something to say to Allison. But right here, we're trying to adjudicate possession of the basketball.
Yeah, so the call on the floor was that it was Ohio State ball. It was appealed by USC head coach Lindsey Gottlieb. And the call on the floor was upheld, which means that USC loses a timeout. Similar story earlier when Kevin McDuff used his appeal on an out-of-bounds call. So it was called Buckeyes basketball. They have the 1-point lead here in possession. Watson almost loses it. Jones all over her. Watson draws the foul instead. Jones called for her third.
Good job right there by Watson to stay aggressive. Got those toes down in the paint. Trying to make lemonade out of some lemons that she was given. Nobody relocated. There was no one to pass to, so she had to throw it up there. And, you know, let me say something to Allison real quick. Allison, I like my steaks medium plus, right? So, no, medium well didn't serve that moment, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't want to say medium.
It was all about having the flair. You had to get the well done pun in there.
Well done.
Obviously.
Medium well.
We did, Allison, we did have that discussion in the break because I kind of looked at Christy. I was like, are you okay?
No.
And she was like, listen, I don't actually like, she had to clarify off air.
I don't want to downplay the shot.
Ohio State's defense getting it done. Chance Gray will go to the line to shoot two.
That's that open court pace of play that Ohio State craves, right? They want to get it and go. And Chance Gray all the way to the rack right there. Got tagged on the way up.
That was a fourth foul on London Jones, so she heads to the bench. The starting point guard, senior for the USC Trojans, dealing with some foul trouble here with 6:33 to go.
And Chance Gray is in law school here, same with Kennedy Cambridge, which you love to see, and Masters of Law is the curriculum that they're both in. So you love to see student athletes shining on and off the court. You know, it's a wise move right there by Chance Gray, drawing that foul.
9-0 run for Ohio State in less than 2 minutes as they've taken a 5-point lead. Big swing here as Dunn's three ball won't go. O-board brought in by Smith. Smith. And taken away. Jelani Cambridge with a steal. Cambridge pushing pace.
Where did she even come from? She dropped out of the sky.
Cambridge with a crafty move. Jelani Cambridge with 24 points. Ohio State up 7.
Oh my goodness. A magical sequence for Jelani Cambridge, the sensational sophomore.
Dunn looking for the answer. Davidson into the paint. No. Jump ball called in the fight for the rebounds. Largest lead here for Ohio State.
First of all, Jelani Cambridge flying through the air with the greatest of ease on that weak side, blind steal, and then the crossover, and we'll see you later. The fillet, you'd love to see it. She is so quick. My goodness. I mean, that crossover was wicked.
Cambridge, the older sister this time, getting involved. Kennedy Cambridge with 14, and Ohio State with their largest lead of the game. Foul called as Chance Gray was pressuring Malia Samuels.
Kennedy Cambridge says she wanted a piece of the action too when she got to the other side of the rim right there, getting it in. Straight downhill, like a hot knife through butter right there, easy peasy.
Second foul on Gray, second team foul for Ohio State. 9 on the shot clock.
Good job by Watson to stay over top.
Davidson trying to back down Watson, and Davidson travels. Another turnover, 5th in less than 5 minutes for USC.
Exceptional defensive discipline right there by Watson, giving up size, but not hard on that play.
USC head coach Lindsey Gottlieb calling the timeout.
Look at Watson right there, giving up size, but she stayed disciplined in the gap right there, just allowing Jazzy Davidson to get downhill and utilize her height advantage closer to the rim like Kevin McGuff instructed the team.
23 turnovers now for USC as Ohio State has turned up the defensive pressure here in this fourth quarter. Again, 5 in the last 4.5 minutes.
0 for 5 from the floor for USC in the stretch. I mean, the heater has been turned on blast right now, and they have turned their defense into offense.
4.5 minute scoring drought for USC. Meanwhile, for Ohio State, the Cambridge sisters lighting it up. 24 for Jelani, 14 for Kennedy.
Well, you know, there's like the two-headed snakes. I don't know what it's called. But listen, is that actually a thing? I don't know.
The phraseology is
the cartoons and everything. But listen, two heads of the snake. It's not just one. I mean, they have been tough to guard, and they have been guarding tough. And that is the beauty of their overall game, and it has been clearly impactful for Ohio State surging right now at this juncture of the game.
Jelani, Cambridge! Lamelo, the offensive rebound. Ray, oh, great pass! Lamelo with 2. 15-0 run for Ohio State. In total control this fourth quarter. Lamelo deflection. Davidson recovers. Davidson going up through traffic, draws the foul.
What's that dance the kids do? Saying something not smelling great. Listen, that pass was such a great find. Draw two defenders, see 4 teammates on your squad, and who has the best opportunity, and that's the one.
Kennedy Cambridge with her 5th foul. She has fouled out, heading to the bench. The redshirt junior guard, transferring in from Kentucky a couple seasons ago, had an outstanding game, but she will be done for critical final 4 minutes.
Yeah, that's a lot of time, but does Ohio State have enough of a cushion here to stay disciplined defensively and close it out here at home the way they want to and get off that losing streak they came into this game with? 2-game losing streak for Ohio State, 6-game winning streak for USC. This would definitely honestly bolster the resume for USC.
The 2-woman game with Gray and Lamela getting it done again as a foul is called. Lamela with the opportunities at the free throw line.
Ohio State, give them credit, still continuing to attack the painted area. You know, whether it's with their interior players and their presence in there, or their speed up top, and you know, those cross matches that they're presented with taller, maybe a beat slower defenders on them because of the height advantage.
Lamela now with a double-double. That made free throw on the first attempt makes it 10 points for her. Davidson, no. Jelani Cambridge flying to the ground for the rebound.
Yeah,
somehow comes away with it.
She lost her goggles too, but threw them over to the bench.
Lost the goggles, threw them off the floor, and continued to play. The grit and heart on display as a foul is called. But Jelani Cambridge, just a dog out there.
Yeah, it's good to be young, because if I lost my sticks, I'd be done. I wouldn't be able to see anything. Listen, Jelani Cambridge is one of those ones. She's like, look, she was going up for the rebound. Her goggles fell to the ground, and she just tossed them over to Katie Smith, a 3-time gold medalist and Hall of Famer on the bench for Ohio State.
11-point lead, 16-1 run for the Ohio State Buckeyes. Reed Martin just called for her second foul, 4th team foul in Ohio State. Oh, Davidson, and there's a hard foul. Going the other direction, that is. Offensive foul there called on Davidson. Another turnover here for USC.
Kevin McGuff demonstrably just showed Davidson just off-put Watson there on the play. And the catch was even difficult, but right there trying to clear space with that left arm, Heisman Trophy style, disallowed.
Jelani does have her goggles back, the glasses back on, so good news for her there. While Davidson has 4 fouls. Cambridge in the mid-range! Jelani Cambridge now with 26!
It's the pity pat for me, though. on the pity pad. They closed the gap, but she said, okay, I don't need to go all the way to the rim. I'm going to shoot it right here. Effie.
Kennedy Smith fighting through contact. Draws the foul and will go to the free throw line.
Take a look, Jelani Cambridge right there. Ooh, that low cross. So the pity pad, they gapped that. Dunn was right there to close off that elbow. Got to be the goggles. Yes, you can see straight, y'all. That was a tough bucket right there with pull-up game. I mean, she is so solid with her skill set. The ability to score on all three levels. Jelani Cambridge, only a sophomore. What an upside for her game moving forward.
Kennedy Smith now with 18 points, 2 shy of her season and career high of 20. USC, though, with some work to do. Both teams in the bonus. Both teams with 1 timeout here for the final stretch.
Trying to get that DHO, that little pitch back, crack back action. USC doing a good job of dissecting it and got the turnover off of it.
Davidson with the steal. Davidson, the Hazzy. Davidson lays it in! Jazzy Davidson with 24.
Smooth jazz on a Sunday, that's what I like. Oh my gosh. She is just so calculated with her movements and decisions as a freshman.
9-point lead here for Ohio State. Cambridge goes to the floor. Kevin McGuff immediately running down the bench, making a case to the officiating crew for a foul called, but that will not be the case.
Let's take a look. Right there, said she may have got nudged. Oh, ooh. I saw some space there, unless the ball touched the line. It's close.
Also, then the contact you saw on the foot was kind of getting hooked. But either way, it's a turnover in USC basketball with a chance to cut into this lead.
For the team.
Dunn kicks it out. Smith. Smith working. Davidson with 2 to shoot up. Jazzy Davidson with ice in her veins. 27 points.
It looked like a matchup zone there, and then a slow closeout on that skip pass gave Davidson the time she needed to finish.
2-possession game. Cambridge trying to answer back and is fouled. Davidson tying her career high with 27, by the way.
USC did a tremendous job working out of the double team. That skip pass on the foul line extended is where you want to send it. Hard to rotate there if you're blitzing on that strong side block. Great find by Kennedy Smith on the skip. And then a nuzzler into the bucket from 3 yet again.
7-0 run here for the Trojans in the last 1 minute and 40 seconds. Big free throws here for the sophomore Jelani Cambridge.
Davidson 5 of 8 now from 3. Just absolutely absurd with her ability to knock in shots from range in this one. You said coming into this one, 26% from range. Yep, not high volume from there, but really striking while the iron is hot in this one.
Davidson to the cup and a new career high for the freshman. 29 points. USC still fighting.
Sizzler of a move right there. Just kept the speed going in the open floor and finished nicely.
Gray off iron. USC the rebound. 1 timeout remaining for both coaches. Davidson runs into trouble, taken away, and Chance Gray with the easy lay-in. Ohio State's defensive pressure just too much.
I saw Lindsey Godley trying to get a pass behind the line of the press because it was too much. Put your nose in the fan right there with that defense. You get your face in the fan if you're USC. Oh, you can't dribble the basketball. That's exactly what they want you to do so they can hem you up along the sideline. Look at Kevin McGuff. He's saying, yep, oh, hey, I didn't touch it. Get it. Go. But that's the kind of philosophy and culture he's created here. And bringing that defensive firepower to the court is paying dividends in this game for the home team.
Cambridge, Jelani, that is, was just called for her fourth foul. Of course, Kennedy Cambridge fouled out a couple minutes ago. Made free throws, lead to a timeout call by head coach Kevin McGuff. He will use his final timeout here with 22 seconds to go. What a day, though, for Jelani Cambridge, the sophomore guard, with 28 points to go with 6 rebounds. Just outstanding. 17th game with 20 or more points.
Let me tell you something. Women's basketball is in great hands. I mean, this is a freshman and a sophomore. Jelani Cambridge, the sensational sophomore for Ohio State, has been absolutely sensational with what she's been able to do and how she's been able to do it. She has great wisdom on the floor on both ends, and she has been tremendous. But you're looking at Jazzy Davidson here, the fantastic freshman for USC. She has been phenomenal, making the proper reads, 5 of 8 from range for the feathery touch lefty. 29 points for Jazzy Davidson here.
A new career high for her. 5 made triples, ties her career high as well. Jelani Cambridge, her career high is 41, so not quite touching that. But hey, 28 points, not too shabby. Shooting more than 50% from the floor.
You can always tell when players are different, right? In high school, I had a chance to work with them in the summer for some showcase events, and they were just very curious. You know, you see Jazzy, you know, she is low-key, and so is Jelani in that regard, but they are both very curious basketball learners. They want to soak it all in, and you can tell.
Fans soaking it in. Juju Watkins soaking it in as USC tries a final push. And there's a whistle. Again, both teams are in the bonus. Head coach Lindsey Gottlieb does have 1 remaining timeout. Kennedy Smith was just called for her 3rd. Jelani Cambridge going to the free throw line. USC able to get the foul quickly there. Just about 1 second off the clock. Lyndon Jones heading to the bench. It rattles home. Still just a 2-possession game prior to Jelani Cambridge hitting the free throw. And for USC, it's a long road trip that is continuing as they head to Penn State on Wednesday before welcoming number 2 UCLA to close out the regular season. Little battle for LA. Always lives up to the hype.
Always fun.
Ohio State with a couple tough ones, Michigan and Michigan State, a pair of top 20 teams remaining as Lindsey Gottlieb does use that final timeout.
It's always a gauntlet when you're talking about Big Ten women's basketball. 12 teams prognosticated by our very own Autumn Johnson to make the NCAA tournament this season. The depth and wealth of talent is incredible.
To recap what's at stake when it comes to the Big Ten tournament, the top 4 teams in the standings earn a double bye in the Big Ten tourney coming up in Indy. In just about a week and a half, the top 8 teams earn a single bye. So USC right now in 8th in the standings. Ohio State dropped to 5th with their loss to Minnesota last game. Looking to climb back up. 15 teams overall make the Big Ten tournaments. And of course, UCLA, the last and only unbeaten team in Big Ten play, to go 16-0, Christy.
Yeah.
That's outstanding.
Yeah, they're just phenomenal. Great balance. Corey Close has them playing like a well-oiled machine. Obviously, making it to the Final Four last year.
Yep. First Final Four in program history.
Right, trying to get back there, get over the hump, and get it done. I mean, UConn won it last year, their 12th title. And just a phenomenal showing by UCLA, but they said they want to put that behind them like they did it, and no disrespect to the journey that it took to make it to the Final Four, but they're not staying in that space. It's a brand new page of the book, right? A different verse of the song. They're trying to get to business and get right back to it and see what happens this time.
Not satisfied with just a Final Four appearance. Coach Close and her crew hunting for a championship this year. Shot clock off now. Davidson heaves it up. Oh, Jazzy Davidson with the first 30 piece of her career makes this a 5-point game. Are you kidding me?
That's just a step back fader from 3, cashed out by Jazzy Davidson. All that jazz, all 3 of those clean and cashed in by the freshman.
Officiating crew here double checking the clock. As it stands right now, it says 15.5 seconds remaining, 5-point lead for Ohio State. Neither coach has any remaining timeouts, both teams in the bonus.
Review, the clock will be set to 16.7 seconds. Ohio State will inbound the ball on the end line.
Gotta be smart, come and meet passes if you're Ohio State. Possession belongs to USC, so I mean maybe they won't go for the foul, maybe they'll go and try to get a jump ball, right? So change the possession.
With the possession.
So I'm not gonna come in, hey, you caught it, I'm gonna foul you. I'm gonna try to tie that thing up so we get the ball back.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna send you to the line, right? Now we come down here and score it. Let's go. Let's get creative.
USC with a full court press. Ohio State gets it in. Jelani Cambridge turns the corner, evades the pressure, eventually is fouled, but several seconds off the clock.
Smart to get it to Jelani Cambridge because she turned those wheels over. I'll tell you what. And she's low to the ground. She has that speed. Whew. Yeah, 3 players trailing her, trying to catch her, reaching out, trying to foul her. That's what that speed is.
Now, Kara Dunn did commit the foul, which is her 5th. So Kara Dunn has fouled out. Kennedy Cambridge fouled out earlier for Ohio State. London Jones with 4 fouls. Jazzy Davidson with 4. And then Jelani Cambridge with 4 for the Buckeyes. And a big missed free throw on the first attempt for Jelani. Makes the second. Still just a 2-possession game, though.
Gotta go quickly.
Davidson. Mendez heaves it up, and the bank is open in Columbus.
The window.
Coach
Oh,
McGuff
boy.
on the courts, fired up about something.
The players under
Kevin McGuff
review.
is thinking-
After the successful made basket, the clock continued to run.
So there is going to be an examination of the clock once again.
I thought Kevin McGuff thought this was a travel, which is why he was incensed. And off the window, it was like 2.4, it looked like for me once it came through the nets.
After the review, the game clock will be set to 2.6 seconds. Ohio State will inbound the ball on the end line.
Okay. 2.6. There you go, buckle in. For this Wild finish, you can see right there, 2.6 is when the ball dropped home.
It has been a wild ride.
It's been fun. This is an awesome game.
Thing is, the reviews that have taken place at the clock have essentially been a free timeout for both coaches. You get to get some final messaging into your team, as both have been without a timeout for the last minute here.
So trying to go long, maybe trying to take that away. Can't get it to Jelani.
Got to get the ball in. Cambridge trying to squeak through 2 defenders, and a foul is called.
Well, they couldn't get it to her initially. Yeah, 5-second count was really getting squeezed.
Jazzy Davidson was just called for the foul, which is her 5th. So Jazzy Davidson has fouled out with a career-high 32 points on 11 of 22, a career-high 6 made triples to go with 6 rebounds and 4 assists. Quite the day for the fantastic freshman for the Trojans. Davidson also with 1 block and 3 steals.
See the agony of defeat, though, right there. I mean, the sting, you can feel it. She just poured everything out. And you can't have your heart broken if you didn't put your heart in it. And boy, she had her heart in this game.
An outstanding showing for Jazzy Davidson with 32 points. Jelani Cambridge, meanwhile, makes it a 2-possession game with a made free throw. Last second here. London Jones throws it up, comes up short, and that's how this will end. 88-83, Ohio State wins it. For our entire crew here at Fox and my partner, Christy Winter-Scott, thanks for joining us. We'll send you now to studio where Allison Williams takes it away.